What if you want to add a subwoofer into the vehicle? You have room for one sub and say a 5 to 1,000 watt amplifier. Something that's not going to stress out the factory system. Are you going to have something like this, a round sub? Or do you think you're going to go to something like this, a square sub? Now I've chose both these woofers because I'm going to show you over here. The specs are almost identical, but which one will give you the most output, give you the most bass? So round or square? That's the biggest question. Now, why would engineers want to do this idea? Well, if you think about it, a square has more square area than a circle, roughly 20% more. All right, I'm going to slide over for a difference. Over here, you're going to see the X Max, the SD, the power handling, and the sensitivity. Why I chose these two woofers. So I chose a 5512-44 from MTX and S6512-44 from MTX. Obviously, one is round and one of the S is square. Now, over here, though, what I want you to notice right away is that the X Max is essentially the same. Also, you look at the SD, sorry guys, I wrote it down, is 87 to 113. So that's how much area the cone has. So like I'm saying, a circle is this much, a square has this much. And why I'm using this as an example is that you are roughly 20% more. So it's going to move more air. But why I wanted to use this woofer was you'll see the X max, and the X max is how far the woofer moves in and out. So you'll see they're virtually the same. Power handling is a little bit more, I will give you that, but also the sensitivity. You'll also see one is 84 and one's 86. So that's 2 dB roughly louder. So if all things were equal, if I was going to throw 500 watts at this, you would be 2 dB louder by having the square one, plus you got 20% more square area with the same movement. So also keep that in mind, and I'm going to go into the weeds a little bit here, is that if I only have 500 watts, both these woofers can go, and picture it, 1 inch up and down. Okay? So consequently, if you can envision it, for 250 watts, it would only go half an inch up and down. I think you get what I'm saying there. So this is one big thing that people don't realize. Now let's break it down as we're talking about SPL here. If I have a 1,000 watt sub, in this example, would you agree with 1,000 watts it would go in and out 1 inch in this example? Okay. So if I still only had 1,000 watts, but I had two woofers that were 1,000 watts, they're only going to go a half an inch each. So then once again, there's no SPL difference because of the same movement of air. So it's all about maximizing the movement of air. So as I illustrated with the cylinder, okay, and how far can you move the golf ball up and down? That's what happens with SPL, and that's why the square subs work so well. I wanted to recap on why is I put a square sub in, and I was like, holy crow, this is loud. And the biggest reason is not movement, it's cone area, cone area, cone area. And also too, if you do think about it, you have two circles next to each other, like this. Then I have two squares. Now in this example, I have to look it up again, guys. So in this example, two tens will be 87 plus 87, which would equal, let's just call it 170 at this point. 113 plus 113 is 226. So even at 170 to 226, I'm almost getting to where I'm getting a free woofer. And if you think about it, okay, the widths are the same, okay? 12 inches across and 12 inches across. And what it is, the square subs, you can touch them together. That's the advantage, okay? I know it's not a super long, super in-depth, but I want you to understand why the square sub. And by using this example, because I don't know many other manufacturers, because yes, I do know that Kicker makes a square sub, Hyphonics makes a square sub, and I think way back when Crunch made a square sub as well. And why do these work so well? Is that you can convert sub boxes as well. So if I have a single 10, I can just cut it out to a square, put a square, and get 20% more output. So theoretically, guys, when I go from say two round tens to two square tens, I'm now getting 40% more output. That's the advantage. It's just like the new Square 8s everybody is doing. What people aren't realizing is that the 8 almost has as much cone area as a 10, but it's awesome. Okay. Now, granted, in this example of how high can I make the golf ball go, that's where suspensions make a difference. Because also is how hard I can push that air, how fast I can push it, how fast I so why I'm using this example of 1,000 watts, because it's for normal people. The average Joes can understand. And honestly, you can get 1,000 watt amplifier now for under $299. So it's a real world example. So if you can get one woofer in your car and you want the loudest bass, I really recommend a Square Sub. If you like the video like this, check out the one over here and we go into the same sort of ideas.